I'm Mash Bodigala, brand strategist. Today we're going to be talking about the perfect plan for brand marketing. Now, of course, there's nothing like a perfect plan for anything. But if you go in a structured way, if you implement brand strategy principles, marketing principles, then you could have a plan that has more likelihood of success. Now, building a brand and marketing a brand are considered to be two separate things. But in my opinion, they're both one and the same. Or in fact, when you're building your brand, you are marketing your brand. And when you're marketing your brand, you are building your brand, right? Okay, I'm going around in circles. I know that. But what I'm trying to communicate to you is to say that you should not look at marketing as a separate kind of activity, right? This is what a lot of brands do. So what they do is come up with a brand, come up with the brand idea, and then it's set in stone. Then marketing plans are created. They're not linked to the brand strategy. And then the marketing campaigns are run randomly, right? So the best way to ensure success for your brand is to have strategy. First, of course, you need strategy. And then you market your brand based on that strategy. And then you go back and you evolve your strategy as time progresses, as your target audience changes or the market situation changes, the market segment changes. Okay, so let's take a quick look at the different elements of a brand marketing plan. Okay, so as I said, you start with the brand strategy and then you go for a launch boost campaign. Then you do content marketing and social media marketing. And of course, these two are interrelated, right? So let's do that. Let's interrelate these two. And there. So this is the overall plan, but let's go and look at the different phases in detail. The first one is the brand strategy. Always you should have this brand strategy. Even if you are a company that's already been around for a little while and you feel that your brand strategy has already been set in place, it's okay. You can start fresh. There are 4 or 5 different kind of modules in any brand strategy. The first one is the brand inspiration. Now start with the part of your brand that 99% of your competitors or brands out there skip over. Now it might not seem overly important early on, but having this foundation in place as a bedrock makes all the difference when your brand begins to grow. So this is very important. You need to have the kind of brand inspiration. Now the brand inspiration, of course, is made up of things like your vision, your mission, your core values, and all the fundamentals on the pillars of your brand. Next, module 2, the phase 2, should be positioning strategy. The next section is without a doubt one of the most important sections of your strategy and where most of the research and development takes place. Now positioning is nothing but trying to gain a mind share of your target audience. And you're positioning yourself in the minds of your customer, not in relation to your competitors, but as a blue ocean brand. Of course, the traditional way of thinking is to position in relation to your competitors. And that worked great for many, many years. But now the world is a different place. Social media, the way consumers consume content, the way consumers or customers, your target audience, where they're hanging out, what they're consuming, how they're making their buying decisions, who they're trusting, which brands are top of mind. All these things have changed. And so your positioning should not be just in relation to your competitors, but rather as a blue ocean brand. And I've made many videos in the past about blue ocean brands, and it's nothing but, having your own blue ocean so that you're away from the red ocean where there's a lot of, competitors. There are lots of competitors and they're all fighting. There's blood in the water, but rather you have your own blue ocean. You're alone in there in terms of, servicing your clients. And then there's lots of fish. Anyway, so for that, positioning yourself as a blue ocean brand is more effective than positioning yourself in relation to your competitors. Now, of course, I'm not saying that you should ignore your competitors, but you should analyze your competitors and look at the good and bad. But then you should look at differentiation. A differentiation so fundamental that your competitors are, they're left in the dust. Then you need to create your brand persona. The next section of your strategy is vitally important to making human connections with your audience. It contains one element which is broken up into 2 key parts. Now, the one element is persona or archetypes, and then you have the audience archetype on one hand, and you have the brand archetype, so the brand persona on the other hand. So first you need to work out who your audience is. Now, a lot of brand stakeholders, they do know, or they do think that they know who their target audience is, and they do. But you need to go deeper. You need to go beyond just saying, okay, this age so-and-so, demographics. No, you need to go into psychographics. You need to get into the minds of your target audience. And to help with that, brand archetypes is a fantastic tool. I've made a series of videos, I think about 12, 13 videos on brand archetypes, on the different kinds of archetypes, what each archetype means, who the audience are, how the brand should behave, the tone with examples and all that, and you should check that out. And I'll try and leave a link below in this description, but check those series out. I think they're really, really phenomenal. Okay, so archetypes, you need to work out the audience archetype, and then your brand archetype needs to reflect the audience archetype. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that you need to align directly with your audience. Yes, for some brands, for some market segments, you need to align. For some others, you need to complement. For yet others, you need to maybe oppose to create the right kind of impact. So at the end of this brand persona kind of module, what you're getting is this kind of tone that sets the stage for connection, human connection with your target audience. Then you have module 4, which is the brand story framework. This is the storytelling part. You have to create a brand story that aligns with your target audience and aligns with their worldview. So brand story, again, like in every video, I repeat this, your brand story is not the same as your origin story, right? So your origin story is how you came about, what your product means, and how you built your brand and so on, or your product or service. Now, your brand story is something different. It is the story that aligns with the worldview of your audience. It is the story that connects you or your brand with your target audience. So you need to build a brand story, a framework actually. And then the final part is the brand message framework. This is where the rubber meets the road in terms of delivering what you want your audience to understand about your brand. This is the brand message framework. With your market position at the core, your core message framework should be built on a series of key messages that act as a guide for all brand communication. So you take the elements from your brand inspiration. So this is your vision, your mission, your kind of core values and things like that. All those elements. Then you have figured out your brand differentiation. So how you're different, why your audience should care about your brand and why they should connect with you. Then how your brand is going to sound, your tone, what it means, and so on. And then what story you're telling, all that is set into communication, right? This is where you have blocks of messages that then can go on social media. You have blocks of messages for your existing clients. There's a lot you can do. Okay, so this is phase 1, which is the brand strategy. Once you build the brand strategy, first thing you need to do, even if it's a company that's been around for a long time, is to really start afresh. But for a new company, for a new brand, this is ideal, is the launch boost. Now, the launch boost is all about building your social media presence or creating brand awareness, creating brand recall. This is the initial, it's almost like a snowball effect. Once you do this, then subsequent marketing campaigns, social media campaigns, they will then, benefit from this snowball effect. So, start with creating your social media channels and branding them. If you already have them, that's fantastic. Just audit them to see they're on point with your brand strategy, with your brand elements, the ones that we did in phase 1. Then you got to write press releases, release them to media outlets, international public houses and so on and so forth. Then announce the new brand on Twitter, Facebook. At least go for 300 powerful updates on Twitter and Facebook to create that initial engagement, that kind of, and this should be done by experts. Now, if you have experts in your company, that's fine. If not, hire an expert, someone you can trust to do this for you. And then set a target to generate at least 500 new followers on Twitter, at least 1,000 new followers on Facebook. Now, I know these are very random kind of numbers, but this is generic, right? This is like a rule of thumb. Now, this would change and depend on different market segments. It depends on your audience. There's lots of factors. So all these activities will lead to social signals that will boost your Google rankings for your primary keywords. So you need to do your primary keyword research and also create a keyword analysis so that it determines your kind of marketing down the line, right? So that is a launch boost campaign. This should run maybe for about 3 months. Then you have phase 3, content marketing. And as I said before, phase 4, social media marketing. These go hand in hand. But of course, you start with content marketing, right? So identify the technical elements of your site that can be improved and match search phases to the pages of your site. So this is assuming you already have a website. If not, you can still build from scratch, but you need to do this. You need to evaluate the words, the keywords, and these come from the brand strategy that are important to your audience. And then you need to create content. Once you create the content, then you start social media marketing. And of course, you need to plan every month. You need to have high quality graphics for your posts, articles, and you need to have a report. You need to analyze these reports, and those are the phases. So you got the brand strategy, launch boost campaign, content marketing, and social media marketing. These are all the different phases of marketing your brand. Now, at the beginning of this video, I was talking about how marketing and brand strategy are not two different things. They go hand in hand. So imagine these different phases that I showed you as a cyclical thing, right? So of course, your brand inspiration needs to be done once. It's not something you need to change. You should not, in fact, be changing it just because market conditions change. So if you are compelled to change those, that means the initial brand inspiration was not created properly. So spend time, effort, money in creating your brand strategy. Your brand strategy is not your marketing strategy. It is a strategy that sets you apart from your competitors, that pushes you into the blue ocean, that aligns you with your target audience, that connects you with your potential customers, that makes you top of mind for your target audience, that creates brand awareness, that creates the meaning of why your brand exists, right? So your brand strategy is fundamental. I hope you found this video useful. Now, I know there's lots of things that I covered. A ton of those, I've already made videos in the past. I might make new videos in the future. But if you have any questions, just leave them below. Now, if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, subscribe right now. Like this video, leave a comment, and let me know how your brand strategy is going. Let me know how the struggles you're facing in terms of creating brand strategy, in terms of creating marketing strategies, and so on and so forth. And go check out the Spell Brand blog, where I've written tons of content, tons and tons of articles on these topics. All right. Till my next video, take care.